Hi there, thanks for coming to this 5-minute class. I'm Jennifer Croft and I'll be teaching you 4 ways to make more money in your small business. So if you like this class, we have a bunch of other classes and free resources available at www.5minuteclasses.com. So when it comes to a small business, there are 4 ways to make more money. 2 of those involve bringing in more money and 2 involve spending less. And those are really the all it comes down to. People try to make this more complicated, but this is really what it's all about. So how can you bring in more money? Within that, there's 2 ways. You can either raise prices on your products and services, or you can sell more of your products and services, or you could do both. You could raise product prices and sell more. And then in terms of spending less money, there's 2 sides of the equation for that. We have cost of goods, which are the costs that are directly related to producing or procuring products. And then we have what are called monthly overhead expenses, which are also sometimes referred to as fixed costs. And so those are the 2 main areas that you spend money. So we could spend less in one or both of those categories, and at the end of the month have more money. So let's talk about that first one under bring in more. If you're thinking of raising prices on your products or services, here are some things to consider, which is when was your last price increase? How much competition do you have, and what are your competitors charging? Will the market bear a price increase? This doesn't mean will 1 or 2 customers or clients push back. This means in general, will people pay more for what you're selling? And if you did lose customers or clients, how many would you lose if you raised prices? Because if you raised prices by 20% and you lost 20% of your customers or clients, you still would be bringing in the same amount of money and doing less work. So good to think about that. And then how much of an impact would a price increase have on your ability to attract new business? And if you're turning away business now because you're too busy to handle it, that's almost a sure sign that it's time for a price increase. So the other way to sell more products and services is to increase sales to existing customers or clients. See if you can get them to buy more. Do a better job of retaining them. Instead of having them drop out and then having to find somebody new to replace them, do a better job of retaining them. And it would also be helpful to write a 1-year marketing plan and come up with new ways to bring in more customers or clients. And finally, don't be afraid to ask your existing happy customers and clients for word of mouth, referrals. Ask them to tell other people about you. So how can we lower the cost of goods? We can lower this in 2 ways. One is by lowering labor, and the second is by lowering the materials, the cost of the materials. And so by lowering labor, you could become more efficient in how you're producing things, and or you could find employees or contractors who would work for less. And if you're looking to lower your cost of materials or supplies, you could try buying in larger quantities, renegotiating with the vendors you're currently working with, and or potentially buying less expensive or lower quality materials. So how do you lower monthly overhead? I would suggest you start by going back and looking at every line item on your monthly overhead and see if it can be reduced or eliminated. There's a exercise called the zero budget, which is you take everything off of that list, you assume your budget is zero, and then anything that comes back on has to earn its way back on. So good way to think about things. And then finally, you could postpone or forego any major purchases or commitments. And so those are the 4 ways to make more money. So let's see them in action here, which is I'm pretending that I'm owning a massage therapy clinic. And so the first thing I do is I raise prices from $75 per massage to $85. And then at the same time, I increase the number of sales. I either get my existing clients to come back more often, or I find some new clients, or both. And so I'm able to go from selling 60 massages per month to 80. And then I also bring some new massage therapists on board that now cost $30 per massage instead of 40. And finally, I cut back my overhead expenses. I go back and do that zero budget exercise and am able to save $500 a month. So by doing all of this, you can see in this scenario that before I took action, I was losing $400 a month, and by the time I did all of these things, I was suddenly making $2,400 a month. So big difference there. So here are some good next steps you can take that relate to this class. And here are some worksheets you can use. And we also have a free newsletter that you can sign up so that you can keep learning. So thanks for coming to this class and best of luck with your business.